You ever notice how the quietest nights always hide something? That kind of silence that feels heavy, like it's listening back. That's how it started for him, a man I once met in Chicago, a friend of a friend who stopped sleeping altogether. He said it began with small things, the sound of shuffling right behind the wall, soft, like someone moving furniture slowly, trying not to wake the neighbors. At first, he thought it was just old pipes, maybe a mouse, but the rhythm was too human. Always around midnight, never earlier, never later. Like a routine. He lived alone, top floor, corner apartment. No one should have been on the other side of that wall. It led to the old elevator shaft, sealed years ago. But every night, the sound grew closer, like someone dragging a chair right up against his wall and sitting. He told me he tried recording it once, set his phone near the wall before going to bed. When he played it back the next morning, there were whispers, faint but clear, and one phrase stood out. "He's not looking tonight." That's when he stopped sleeping in his room, moved his mattress into the living room, thinking distance would help. It didn't. The shuffling followed. Whisper, always from the wall nearest his bed. He went to the landlord, asked if anyone could possibly live behind the sealed section. The landlord laughed, said that part of the building had been bricked up decades ago, after a fire. Apparently, a man had lived there once, an artist who made perfect replicas of people's rooms, their beds, their lamps, their wallpaper, even the scratches on the floor. And he disappeared. No one ever found his body. That story should have scared him away, but it did the opposite. He became obsessed. Every night he'd press his ear to the wall, trying to catch the sounds. He said he could hear breathing now, slow, deliberate, sometimes in sync with his own. He started marking the wall with chalk, small dots where he heard movement. Within a week, the dots formed a pattern, like fingers pressing out. Then, one night, the breathing stopped completely. And that was the first night he decided to look. He shouldn't have. There's a small gap behind the wardrobe, just wide enough to fit a flashlight through. He pushed it aside, dust falling, revealing an old crack in the plaster, maybe half an inch wide. Through it, he could see light, a flickering lamp. But here's the thing, it wasn't his light. He leaned closer, peering through the gap, and what he saw made him forget to breathe. Another room. His room. Exactly the same. Same bed, same chair, same poster peeling off the wall. Except someone was sitting on the edge of the bed. He thought maybe it was a trick of reflection, until the figure turned its head and smiled at him. He told me later that something inside him snapped that night. The moment the figure smiled, the fear didn't make him freeze, it made him move. He stepped back, shaking, trying to tell himself it was just a trick of the light. But the air in the room changed, colder, thicker, and from behind the wall came the faint sound of scratching. He stared at the chalk marks. One by one, they started to fade, like fingers brushing the inside of the plaster. He could feel it now, someone tracing the outline of his bed. He slept on the floor that night, didn't even close his eyes. The next morning he called me, said he couldn't stay there anymore, but something wouldn't let him leave, like the building was holding him. He said, "If I go, what if it follows?" So he decided to face it. He bought a hammer and chisel, waited until midnight when the sounds always began, and when he heard the first shuffle, he started hitting the wall. Dust filled the air, mixing with the faint smell of old smoke. Each hit grew louder, angrier, until the wall cracked open and he saw it again, that same flickering lamp. But now, the other him was standing, still, waiting. He shined his flashlight through the opening, and the beam hit a mirror on the far side, his own reflection staring back. Except the reflection didn't move, didn't blink, didn't breathe. And behind the reflection, there was a shadow, tall, still, the shape of someone standing just out of sight. He stepped closer to the hole. The light began to flicker, on, off, on again. In the last flash, he saw it clearly. The other version of his room wasn't empty anymore. Every wall was covered with portraits, charcoal sketches of faces drawn with obsessive detail. Each one labeled with a date, and the last one had tomorrow's date. He dropped the flashlight. It rolled toward the crack, and from the other side, a hand reached through. Pale, long-fingered, grabbing the beam and pulling it in. He stumbled back, heart pounding, staring as the light shone now from inside the wall, moving slowly toward his bed, like someone walking inside the plaster. Then he heard his own voice whisper through the gap, "It's your turn." Silence, then creaking wood. The next morning, his neighbors complained about the smell of plaster dust. The landlord opened the door to his apartment and found everything untouched. The bed, the wardrobe, the chalk on the wall. Except for one thing. The wall he'd broken through was perfectly sealed again, smooth, clean, and painted on it in black charcoal was a new portrait. His face, eyes wide open. No one ever found him. But sometimes, when tenants move in, they say they hear faint scratching, like someone drawing on the other side. That's why I keep these stories, because the walls always remember, and sometimes they're still listening.